Rasputia had 3 brothers. Big Black Jack, he was the oldest.
Leg.
Then there was Blue.
Breastises.
And Earl.
Say the best piece for you.
What's that?
Turkey ass. Eat up, sucker.
Bon appetit!
I have reached a point in my spiritual growth where nothing the Tekken team can do can hurt my soul any more than they already have. However, with that being said, Michael Murray has got to be top 3 bums of all time, bro. There is no universe or alternate reality where there is a human being as sorry as Michael Murray. Why does Michael Murray work on my favorite fighting game, and why is he getting paid to be the biggest cock baby beta monkey that the world has ever seen?
There's another fantasy that I think people talk about often that's not discussed often enough, but it's cuckolding. So let's describe what is cuckolding and how common is that fantasy?
So cuckolding is basically where you're...
Mel time.
Why did I say this?
Mel time. It's Mel time.
Human beings of this caliber are generally reserved for use as human shields, builders on construction sites with no safety regulations, or fodder in cartel disputes. When banks get robbed, people like Michael Murray are shot in the head first, just so the robbers can show the police that they are willing to kill hostages. People like Michael Murray should not and cannot be in positions of any power. It's like putting a blind baby in charge of your taxes, bro. Michael Murray cannot do anything, whether it be on Christmas Day and he is in charge of cutting a singular onion. No. Whether it be cleaning his own face. No. Somehow, someway, if Michael Murray had the responsibility of cutting a singular onion or washing his own face, he would find a way to massacre his whole family with a butter knife and clean his face with applesauce, bro. There is no way that this guy did not eat plastic toy food as a child. There is no way. I remember when I was younger watching an episode of The Simpsons where Homer had a crayon stuck in his brain for his whole life, which was making him dumb.
Mr. Simpson, I'm afraid you have a crayon lodged in your brain.
My thumb must have covered up the crayon every time.
This might just be Michael Murray. He must still have the ability to smell the crayon in his brain too, which is why he keeps making games for crayon eaters. That non-sentient crayon is acting like some type of parasite in Michael's head, controlling his body like that dude from Ratatouille and making him make the single worst decision at every corner available. It's becoming so tiring, bro.
My thumb must have covered up the crayon every time.
There was once a time in my life when I said I would solo the entire Tekken dev team, but I have grown spiritually and emotionally since then, to such a degree that when Michael buffs Anna's tracking for the 15th time, I'm not even mad, because I have the strength to just turn on Fatal Fury. Michael Murray has a talent for lowering the bar every single time that there is a Tekken announcement. What is this, bro? What is this, bro? In basketball, there is 3 terms, one called a floor raiser, a ceiling raiser, and then there are consistents. A floor raiser is, if we have this guy on our team's worst days, we are still this good. We're never really going to be bummy if we have this guy. Ceiling raisers are players that amplify the team, so on their best days, they are elite. And consistents are just guys who perform roles very consistently without fail. Filler players, but still needed to win. Michael Murray is none of these things. Michael Murray is a floor dropper. Michael Murray actively lowers the abilities of anyone he works with so that on their worst days, the Tekken team consists of meth addicts and Indian scam callers. Michael Murray is literally Rogue from the X-Men, except it doesn't require you to touch him for you to kill every single one of your brain cells. His very existence does that. This dude is rolling around with a 24/7 live mind crush. The other day, I woke up to see Tekken 8 Season 3 announcement trailer. I had absolutely zero hopes for this shit. However, I was obviously going to watch it in the 1% scenario where they actually changed something, and they definitely changed something. Mostly my brain chemistry and my ability to not walk into Bandai Namco HQ with a live bomb. Basically, they started this trailer with the usual propaganda where they say,
refined balance, more conventional, more focused, more deliberate, a fresh start.
This is obviously suggesting that the game is going to be less brain dead because they've made balance changes. However, this is proven to be a lie less than 0.1 seconds after this statement was made, because they show you that this stance from Reina where she walks back, I forgot what it's called right now, has a high homing option now. The way you countered this stance beforehand is that you option selected it by sidestepping. So you could say that this is a step in the right direction. Okay, let me stop. It literally took about 5 seconds to notice this. I have seen literally none of the shills bring this particular interaction up, by the way. She had a stance with counterplay, but because the offense had a gap, they had to close the gap. Why? I don't get it. But like I said, I have literally seen none of the shills bring this up. I didn't expect them to, but it's good to know that those dudes are back on their knees gobbling for free. Season 3 goes back to basics. Doesn't show any more gameplay. Where are the basics? If they were so basic, I imagine it wouldn't be that hard to show what you're talking about. In fact, it's pretty basic to slide a clip onto your editing software. Imagine if Michael Murray was Pinocchio, bro. His nose would literally be so long we would call that shit Snake Road. We would walk up that shit to see the Supreme Kai and learn Kaioken to smack the shit out of Nakatsu. The guy is a chronic liar, and I don't know why he does this. Returning to basics, except they add the biggest cornball 50-50 character to have ever been created in the entire series. What the fuck are we talking about? Is it possible for these dudes to lie and not be exposed within 5 minutes? Kunamitsu was a Tekken 8 character in Tekken 7. Do you know how much Arslan Ash cooked with this character for this one exact reason? He was ahead of the curve. There is literally not a single person that asked for Kunamitsu, because anyone who actually played Tekken was so done with this washed ass character. Tekken has become so shit as a franchise that they can't even do Guna bait correctly, bro. Who is gooning to this stiff ass design, bro? Does this stretch of navel get your juices flowing? You've brought back the corniest character ever to appeal to weebs, bro. Are weebs now such a big subsection of the Tekken fanbase that they are actually trying to capture them? Guys, I watch anime, but I will never watch enough anime to ever convince myself that Kunamitsu is some dope-ass character. There is no amount of anime I can watch that does not include cracking little sisters that will ever make me think Kunamitsu is a clean character. Don't even get me started on this fat fuck, bro. Don't get me started on this purple-fingered diabetic, bro. I will never understand the hype around Bob. He's fat. We get it. My neighbor is fat. The German health minister is fat. Why the fuck would I ever want to play a fat Mishima with no electric? I don't even like looking at fat bitches when I go outside, bro. So why am I coming onto my favorite fighting game to see a fat man do a backflip? If I wanted to see that, I'd throw a packet of bacon into Food Addicts Anonymous, bro, and see 10 fat dudes do a backflip. If I wanted to see 10 fat dudes do a backflip, I would subscribe to the channel. Guys, if you like Tekken content or you just want to see me complain about literally nothing, remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good shit. Let's get back into this. These devs are so unbelievably out of touch, but this is something I've been knowing. This is the same team that gave us Lydia after her just being in Tekken 7 literally a year ago. There is nobody in existence that asked for Kunamitsu. There is probably 10 people who asked for Bob. There are countless people who have been asking for Lei Wulong. There is countless people who have been asking for Miguel. There are countless people who have been asking for Ogre. Yet we get the same Tekken female with a different color palette, and we get a fat man with type 7 diabetes. The only upside of this trailer is that when Australia popped up onto my screen, they didn't show Marduk. But then, in the same note, who on earth was asking for Roger Jr., bro? This is quite simply the worst season pass that I have ever laid my eyes on. This is so bad. I was watching a Rufumaga video, shout out him by the way, where the dude was saying that there is at least one character on here to make you smile. My face is so straight right now, you could build a house on my shit. Who was asking for these characters? Roger is a character that should have been free DLC. I've been saying this. I like the fact that they haven't completely abandoned meme characters, because these characters are what a lot of people associate Tekken with, and I think they're fun from a casual lens. They are overall good for the game, but Roger was never enough of his own character to take up an entire DLC slot, at least to me. Like, he's a meme character, bro. Like, I could go into this a little more, but guys, it's a fucking boxing kangaroo. Come on. I don't understand how these guys think it's going to be acceptable to ask people to pay £20 for this shit. There is seriously not a single banger on here. Kunamitsu is seriously a 1 out of 10. 1 is Kunamitsu, which automatically makes her a 5 out of 10, but then you realize that this is Tekken 8 Kunamitsu, which makes her 2 out of 10, and then you see that her new design is just worse than the old one, and she is now a 1 out of 10. I don't know what it is with Tekken 8 and just foregoing iconic characters' color palettes in favor of random gold in their outfits, but just for that, Kuni is now a -1, I cannot lie. Bob is an acceptable character, 7 out of 10. Until you realize that it's also Tekken 8 Bob. So now he's a 5 out of 10. And again, his design just looks worse, but it is minimally. So 5 out of 10. Roger Jr. is a boxing kangaroo, which is kind of lame for a whole DLC slot, but 4 out of 10. However, boxing kangaroo is somewhat humorous. 5 out of 10. You are telling me that not a single character on here could break out of being mid as fuck? I cannot be asked, bro. Funnily enough though guys, I still have 1% hope that these devs actually balance their game correctly. I couldn't really tell you why I'm really thinking this, other than the fact that I might just be slightly stupid, and also the fact that Street Fighter 6 is low-key driving me insane. However, there is a big possibility that these dudes just wanted to show the new moves and the stances, and that the moves already in the game have obviously been adjusted alongside these new moves. We just don't know whether this is for the better or the worse yet. Honestly, I am perfectly willing to forgive Bandai Namco for giving us some of the bummiest DLC imaginable if it means that the gameplay is somewhat playable. And what I mean by playable is there is actual counterplay to offense in this game. There is no longer this gameplay loop where it goes, I click my range 3 plus 5 on block tracking mid into mix up into staunch transition into 50-50 until I guess wrong, and then I am punished with my opponent 50-50ing me until he guesses wrong, with no other interaction in between. I am so done with that shit, and anyone who thinks that shit is an acceptable game state for anything other than making fun of it with friends, you have no business being in the gene pool. Remove yourself from it. I have always said from the very beginning of this game that Tekken 8 has a fantastic blueprint. This should have been the best Tekken ever made. There is nothing wrong with a more offensively focused Tekken. It's just the way that you go about it. Pre-Tekken 7, I could never really have considered Tekken a defensive game, because Tekken has always been a game where defense and offense kind of merge into one thing. Like, historically, the way you play defense was with good movement. You can play Tekken very safely. You don't have to click unsafe moves very often if you don't want to. So making your opponent whiff is really the best form of defense. It's Tekken's whole identity. But movement is also used when you have an advantage as well. Say you're playing Heihachi and you're doing your usual combo 1-1 pressure and you're like -1 over and over again. You could do this until you hit a 1-1 because your opponent is going to have to contest this at some point, or you could sidestep and slam your opponent with an electric and they immediately die. Forward dashing is a way to realign with the opponent. Like, there is so much utility with movement in Tekken, I could really go on. But what I was originally saying was, if Tekken 8 was made to where movement was what made it an offensive game, or even if like moves in general just had better frame advantage when they landed than in other games, so you actually earned your mix-ups instead of just being handed them, then the game would be significantly better. There is just numerous ways in which Tekken 8 could have been more offensive while still being a playable game. I don't know how they fucked this up, but I have some hope in this patch. Some. Just a little. But what do you guys think? Will this patch actually bring us back to something resembling Tekken? Will it stay the same or will it get worse? please let me know, because there is so many differing opinions in this community. I mean, most people say that it's bad, but there is a subsection of people who think that this game only needs a few little tweaks here and there, and they might not be entirely wrong, but I don't know. But what do you guys think? Personally, I still have to remain skeptical, even with my little bit of hope, because it's abundantly clear that the Tekken team do not play their own game, which is something that is becoming an increasing problem amongst many games out right now, not even just Tekken 8. The way Tekken 8 gets adjusted, it could really just be a mighty ruler picking out things that they don't like and buffing things that they do. Like, it's very strange, and as long as the game is adjusted in this way, I think Tekken 8 will eternally be for the Shadow Realm, and Tekken 9 will be AI generated. But I don't know. If you liked the video, remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good shit. And until next time, guys.